Welcome to the Autism Infocast. I'm Peter Clark, founder and chairman of the Autism Info Center. Our podcasts delve into every part of autism and neurodiversity, and we want to help you spread understanding, respect, and kindness for those whose lives are affected. Whether you're autistic yourself, or whether you know or care for someone who's autistic, or maybe you just come into contact with autistic people in everyday life. Either way, please feel free to check out our hundreds of articles, videos, books, and training courses at autisminfocenter.org. And I'll leave you now in the capable hands of today's hosts, Jemima and Theo. Over to you.
You know, for way too long, the conversation around autism has felt kind of stuck, hasn't it? Stuck in this narrative about limits. We often see it just through this lens of challenges, maybe focusing too much on what might be difficult instead of, the incredible possibilities. But what if those very things we sometimes think of as limitations? What if they're actually, based on what we're seeing, like blueprints for really unique strengths and, profound success? This isn't just wishful thinking. It's about uncovering some unexpected, really tangible insights into how people truly thrive, but on their own terms. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into in this podcast today. We've pulled together some really insightful material that honestly challenges those old ideas. It focuses instead on how autistic individuals can and do flourish. So our mission here is to extract those valuable insights, help us all understand how to shift that perspective, moving away from just seeing the challenges and really embracing the strengths, recognizing that path to a full, meaningful life. It's about empowerment, really. Moving past those misconceptions.
Yeah, spot on. And building on that, what this podcast really brings out is that thriving, it isn't about trying to fit into some single societal mold. That just doesn't work. It's much more about understanding unique neurology. It's about truly harnessing those strengths that are already there and ultimately creating a life that feels authentic to you. So yeah, get ready for maybe some aha moments. We're going to highlight how defining success on your own terms isn't just possible. It's absolutely essential for a fulfilling life.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit more. If that conventional idea of success feels like, an ill-fitting suit, what if the insights we've looked at offer something more tailor-made? Society often gives us this really narrow definition of success and happiness, right? Like there's only one way to have a fulfilling life. But the material we've explored makes it so clear. A truly fulfilling life is, deeply personal. It's definitely not one size fits all. It should be defined by your own values, your passions, your unique sense of what well-being even means.
And it's so important to dismantle that damaging myth. That idea that autistic people cannot lead fulfilling lives. It's just plain wrong and harmful. The counter-argument, the reality, is that with the right support, the right understanding, autistic individuals absolutely achieve their goals. They build incredibly meaningful relationships, and they make really significant contributions to the world. It's not just a maybe. It's a reality we see reflected again and again, both in people's experiences and in the research.
Which brings it right back to you, the listener. Maybe the first and most crucial step to thriving, really, no matter your neurotype, is giving yourself permission to define what a full and happy life actually means to you. What I found really compelling as we were digging into all this material was this powerful pivot, this fundamental shift away from only focusing on perceived challenges and instead really embracing the actual inherent strengths.
It turns out thinking differently often comes with some pretty remarkable abilities. What were some of the most striking examples of these sort of autistic superpowers that came up? Well, the insights really stress that, autism is definitely a spectrum. Everyone's profile is unique. But they do identify these recurring cognitive patterns, things like enhanced pattern recognition or really intense focus. These things reliably show up as distinct advantages for many people. It's about understanding the specific neurological reasons behind it, not just some vague idea of difference, and recognizing and nurturing these strengths. That's so key for building confidence, for finding your path.
Absolutely. Think about it like this. The material highlights examples like maybe an exceptional ability to notice tiny details. We saw cases where that allowed, say, an autistic software engineer to spot a critical, almost invisible bug that saved a company millions. Or an artist whose precise rendering of tiny textures just captivated people. This isn't just being good at details. It's a really profound, almost microscopic focus that maybe neurotypical brains often filter out. And then there's that deep focus, that specialized knowledge, the ability to just concentrate so intensely on something it can lead to profound expertise. We often see this through what people call special interests, right? Where individuals become incredibly knowledgeable in their chosen areas. We also see really strong logical and analytical thinking, a real knack for spotting patterns, thinking systematically, solving problems logically.
Which can lead to some truly innovative solutions, really understanding complex systems in a deep way.
Yeah. And something I personally find so refreshing is the honesty and directness. Many autistic individuals really value truth. They communicate with this clarity that's just, well, it builds trust. It's straightforward. And finally, there's this incredible creativity and these unique perspectives, just approaching problems, ideas from unconventional angles. This different way of thinking can spark highly creative, truly innovative solutions. It's a powerful way of seeing the world differently. And often, these strengths are really tied into passions. You mentioned special interests earlier. For many autistic people, these are so much more than just hobbies, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. They're often a vital source of joy, of comfort, even purpose, engaging with a special interest. It can be such a powerful way to recharge batteries, reduce stress, feel happy and engaged with the world. It's not just a pastime. For many, it's really fundamental to their well-being. And what's fascinating is how these deep passions can also be this amazing gateway. A gateway to learning, yes, but also to connection. They provide such a natural way to build friendships. Finding people who share that same intense interest, that can be incredibly validating. And sometimes, these interests can actually evolve into fulfilling careers, turning that personal joy into a professional path. I recall one story about an autistic individual whose deep dive into obscure historical linguistics, it actually helped crack a cold case, a police case that was baffling everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a hobby for them, it was a pathway to making this incredible contribution.
That really underscores the importance of valuing these interests, making time for them. They're clearly a core part of identity and a powerful tool for just general well-being. Of course, thriving also means, recognizing and navigating challenges when they come up. That's part of life, too. The material we looked at points out that building emotional resilience, that ability to cope with difficulties and bounce back, it's absolutely a learnable skill, not something you're just born with or without.
Exactly. And this brings up a key question. What are some real, concrete strategies for managing common challenges? Well, let's maybe unpack managing sensory overload, for example, because the insights offer more than just, wear headphones. They talk about creating a sort of sensory diet.
A sensory diet.
Yeah, like proactively managing sensory input throughout your day. It can help prevent burnout by anticipating and addressing your individual thresholds. Kind of like a nutritional plan, but for your nervous system. So that could mean things like, yes, planning visits to public places during quieter times, or maybe creating a sensory-friendly, safe space at home where you can decompress, taking control. And when it comes to navigating social situations, the material really highlights how, for some people, the sheer mental effort of interpreting nonverbal cues can be incredibly draining. It can lead to what's sometimes called autistic burnout. So the strategies here aren't just about setting boundaries, although that's important. It's also about understanding your own cognitive energy budget, right? And proactively scheduling social recovery time, like recharging a battery.
Makes sense.
So maybe choosing smaller, more structured social settings, perhaps focusing on ones built around a shared interest, which can be easier. And finally, developing coping strategies. This involves learning healthy techniques, things like physical exercise, relaxation methods, maybe deep breathing or mindfulness, or even learning to reframe negative thoughts. But the critical first step always is identifying your personal triggers. What sets off that stress?
And framing these as proactive steps, things you do, rather than just reactions. That really seems key to building a more comfortable, more manageable life. Now, something universal that came up again and again in our insights is, naturally, the huge importance of a strong support network. We all need that, don't we? Whether it's understanding family members, loyal friends.
Absolutely. But what's also crucial here, and maybe sometimes overlooked, is the immense significance of connecting with peers, other people from the autistic community. This can be incredibly validating. It helps reduce those feelings of isolation, provides a space where you can just be yourself authentically without constantly explaining or justifying, finding your tribe, essentially.
That leads perfectly into this idea of self-advocacy, doesn't it? Which, as I understand it, is really about first understanding your own needs and then learning how to communicate them clearly, confidently to others.
Exactly. And connecting this to the bigger picture, asking for help or asking for reasonable adjustments maybe at work or in education, that is not a sign of weakness. Quite the opposite. It's actually a powerful sign of strength, of self-awareness. It shows you understand yourself and you have the confidence to express what you need.
So ultimately, if we bring all these threads together,
Yeah.
living life to the fullest, it seems, is really about rejecting that pressure. The pressure to mask, to hide your true self.
Precisely. It's about creating a life that genuinely fits you, rather than completely exhausting yourself trying to squeeze into some neurotypical mold that wasn't designed for you. It's about embracing your unique ways of thinking, celebrating your passions for what they are, giving them space.
So what does this all mean in the end? It means that by harnessing your strengths, by honoring your needs, building those genuine connections, autistic individuals absolutely have the agency, the potential to lead successful, joyful, deeply meaningful lives. But importantly, entirely on their own terms. So maybe something for you to think about as you go about your day. How can embracing your unique way of thinking, whatever your neurotype might be, lead you to a more authentic, more fulfilling life? And maybe, what's one superpower you can identify, either in yourself or someone you know, that perhaps has been overlooked until now? Thanks for listening to this podcast.
Thanks for listening to this Autism Infocast from the autisminfocenter.org.
Thank you, Jemima and Theo. I'm sure we've all learned something there today. Don't forget to visit autisminfocenter.org to hear our other episodes, browse our library of articles, see our inspiring range of books, watch our videos about autism and neurodiversity, and find out about training courses that can help you or your organization make the world a safer, happier, and more meaningful place for us all. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, please feel free to spread the word about Autism Info Center. A quick mention on your socials is always appreciated. Until next time, this is Peter Clark from autisminfocenter.org. Have a great day.